I've always believed in civil debate. People are entitled to opinions, not the facts, though. There is no need to make it personal.
You have been weighed, you have been measured, and you have been found wanting.
So I keep it on the topic content. I actually just deleted new comments on a video of mine where some started dunking on Aaron Fischer's looks.
When we're
alive? Good.
He's
Real good.
Read some books?
Go away.
Do not do that, please. He's a normal-looking guy. Those are reactionary insults from him slamming a movie that hasn't come out yet in Superman, but insults serve no purpose, and I do not support that behavior. Those type of comments don't help discussion. Though it feels at times he is a Snyder Bros ringleader, I guess to be semantically correct, I will say he's a Restore Snyder advocate promoter. We just fundamentally disagree on the DCU and DCEU. Please keep the comments civil. All that said, I think it's fair for a rebuttal. By the end of this video, I'll have dismantled, in my humble opinion,
Want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
many of the Go to Snyder Bros arguments as well. First, to the rebuttal. Also, to Aaron's fans recently gunning for me, pun intended, hey, I enjoy his entertainment brand of topics. We just disagree. I would say you're doing the same thing to me as you're doing to the new Superman movie. Judging without seeing it first. Many of you judged my content off of his
Aaron
response
Fischer
and view without
debunked.
first having watched the video for my intended actual context. On the context of my All-Star Superman comment, it was towards Aaron acting like it's Gunn making a writing mistake.
But the even worse part of this was with the robots, and I mentioned a little bit about this in my video yesterday. They make it very clear that those robots are autonomous. They're there to serve Superman, and they call him Superman and not Kal-El.
That was Aaron Fischer. I've nothing personal against him. To have the robots call him Superman, I pointed out the comic book reference showing it was derived from source material. It's okay, I haven't read every single comic in existence either. Aaron recently posted he's finally read them.
I posted, I am reading All-Star Superman for the first time. I really don't like the writing. It is all over the freaking place, and I can see in production stills for Superman where Gunn is using some of this. This is a bad idea.
Though, I'm not sure if he's seen the animated movie yet.
You win, Luthor. I'm dying. The world is yours, at least for the 3 weeks you have left before they execute you. So here's a challenge. All the things you said you would have done to benefit humanity if I hadn't been in your way, now's the time to prove it. Lex, I know there's good in you.
He also literally first mentioned he would not pay to watch Minecraft for the preview. That was fine if the case.
In fact, I was actually going to go to the theater today, and I was going to buy a ticket just to see the preview.
My point is that he came back to a later video saying he was going to pay and see it.
What's up, Jamie Gunn? I was just taking a nap, ski.
Yes, that's contradictory. In his follow-up, he did not address that he made the conclusion that Gunn's Superman won't have another trailer at all. He was wrong.
I think Warner Brothers is done releasing trailers for this film.
Why is it hard to just say you got something wrong? Within a day or so of Aaron saying that, Gunn said on social media he is working on the full trailer. There will be another trailer, period. I've some thoughts on quite a few typical Snyder Bros arguments I will be presenting. These are simply my opinions versus their opinions. If I see misinformation or omitted information, I will take facts into account and assess. Again, though, I enjoy comments and try to reply when I can towards subject matter. However, I will not support personal attacks on either side. Ain't nobody got time for that. Just wanted to address that, as some found their way to my channel and hadn't watched the context of my video. His fans simply believed him, and while he replied to my content, he didn't let them know the channel it came from. Seems like gatekeeping, a buzz term he stated prior. So many of his fans never saw my original video in question. I felt my debunk video was quite civil and no gatekeeper here. I'm not withholding where an opinion even comes from. Stop calling everyone who disagrees with your opinion a shill, grifter, gatekeeper, or other recent internet buzzword. The only reason I would refer to SnyderBros is when a person reveals they are still trying to restore a dead verse that's over, while also dumping on a movie they haven't seen yet in Gunn's Superman. Most giving Gunn a chance, gave Snyder a chance, and paid to see his directed movies. Even as bad as Batman v Superman was to me, I paid and saw it. I bought the Ultimate Edition, which was still flawed but somewhat improved. Also, while I have some issues with 3 Man of Steel scenes, which are the tornado suicide, Clark's dad advice of maybe letting people die if it protects the secret, and Clark wrecking a man's truck out of a bar scene. And though overall that movie is a solid start at least, I've given credit to what was good in SnyderVerse, like Henry Cavill as Superman, and the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League was far better. I've also criticized the marketing of Gunn's Superman openly in videos and comments. Take a look here at a question from harsh critics.
Worried and so bothered with Snyder fans and what they think.
Why do we react to the Snyder Bros? We aren't trying, nor could we change their minds after all. It's quite simple though. It's the misinformation being put out there. All are entitled to opinions, and opinions aren't always being based on facts. Look at how Aaron Fischer dunks on Lobo here as being goth.
So here we go. Here's the first look at Jason Momoa as Lobo. And he looked much bigger when he was on the top of the, what do you call it? The top of the tank that they showed in the last stills. But if you look at this, you could still tell that's Jason Momoa. Like, I think the thing around the eyes should be much darker. His paint should be much whiter. I just think this looks like Jason Momoa goth.
This has now been outed as a hoax, a faked set photo. We can look at how interpretations of info vary in general, and it's good to have all sides of the opinions out there. Instead of being an echo chamber, we can dive into contrasting, opposing views. The coverage on James Gunn writing Superman before Cavill's cameo in Black Adam is actually in Gunn's favor, but old news. This is not new information. Gunn already said this before in 2023. The Rock requested the old studio heads to run with a cameo of Cavill to help his movie. The old studio regime made that happen, and Gunn was caught off guard himself when they did that. Also, sadly, the Restore SnyderVerse team called Cavill a traitor and turned on Cavill back then. They felt a boycott of Black Adam was necessary because it wasn't a Snyder movie. Both Black Adam and The Flash were projects underway long before Gunn was brought on board. Tyrone Magnus recently mentioned again how Gunn praised The Flash.
Let me just stop right here. While he could be telling the truth, it's hard for me to believe execs. You know, they got a dog in the fight. You get what I'm saying? But you can bring out your own product and truly believe in your own product and truly be telling the truth about your own product. The problem is The Flash. Several people, I think, came out and said that it was one of the greatest movies they've ever seen. James Gunn said it was the greatest superhero movie of all time, something like that, right? And I feel that he untruthed to us. Not because he has bad taste in movies. But because he was taking one for the team, he was hyping his own mans up. You get what I'm saying? He was hyping his own peoples up. When we all know The Flash was not the greatest superhero movie of all time. It was not even one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. It is, though, one of the most mediocre to worst superhero movies of all time.
Yes, he tried to minimize financial loss on a movie that he knew with Ezra's off-screen troubles would be tough at box office to do well. It was a movie from the old regime that was coming out no matter what. Yet, the Restore Snyder segment is leaving out how Zack Snyder praised the movie and Ezra Miller's performance, while also stating he was pledging support towards Ezra, whom he originally cast as the Flash. As always, though, DC and Superman fans, as it gets closer to release, the group who has no movie coming out are working overtime against Superman. They will not restore SnyderVerse. That is over. Look up Not Back Super Friends, which, by the way, I say Super Friends to be cheeky, as that's one of the insults. The Snyder Bros put on Gunn's Superman. Oh no, he has a dog like the comics and says thank you to a robot. Too friendly. Anyways, until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and others, remain civil, and continue the dialogue and healthy debate between fans. Look up. Not back. We are not going back, Snyder Bros.